Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday. It's the 18th of February. Welcome to another one of our little podcasts on the project, BCFC the project. Um, you know, we've got a lot to talk about, haven't we, really? A lot of people looking at the table, thinking what we're going to do. Are we going to be able to trounce everyone now that we had that great performance against Leeds? What's going to happen against Norwich on Saturday? We've got 14 games left. Can we get the points required to make the playoffs? We're going to be talking about all that stuff today and about a possible lineup for the Norwich game. So let me have a little look and see who's here like I usually do. I still don't really understand what I'm doing, but that's all right. Uh, let's just expand the comments and see if we got any. Oh, something went wrong. We'll give it another little click. And we got some already. Here we got Scott Harrison on. How you doing, Scott? Um, Good afternoon to you, mate, and welcome to another one of our little get-togethers. You're always one of the first ones on. Paul James is saying hello to me. Hiya, Paul. Just actually seen your message, Paul. I don't really know what it's about. I haven't had a chance to look at the group yet. I've literally just come in. I'm so busy. So I'll have a little look at that stuff a bit later. Um, how's things over there in the UK? Same start 11 this week. I doubt it very much. I told you what I did a little sort of I did a blog this morning and I put some questions on about the starting 11. It's not going to be the same. I think there might, but I think Beadle will be back in goal. I've got nothing against that. I just think Allsop did play really well, but I don't know if the back of one good result, Beagle gave his position up so Allsop could play a cup game, get a game. It wasn't because he was dropped. So I don't think Chris Davis will drop him. I don't think there'd be anything wrong if Allsop did continue playing. So it's nothing to do with Allsop. I think he had a great game. But Paul saying it's wet as usual. So yeah, we got what we got here today. 20 degrees at the moment. It's been quite a nice day. Our spring's come really early, so that's nice. Um, Other parts of the team that may change. I'm not sure Panzo's going to come straight in for Neumann because again Neumann was only left out to give Panzo a run out. But Chris Davis loves a left-sided centre half, and I've got to be honest, so do I. I think it sits well with the formation. You can't have two right-footed centre backs, I don't think, in it, and I think it does affect uh, um, Chris Clara's game. I really do. Will Iwata come back in at right back? And if he does, what's going to happen to the midfield, uh, to the DMs? So if Iwata comes in, does Doyle and Solis, do they stay there? Does Asai Samuel could possibly play in that right side, in that two base of the midfield alongside Solis? I don't know. Gray, I think, will retain his place. Um, I think uh, Patrick Roberts could come in on the right. I think Stansfield and Priska should stay like that. So it's just a really, really difficult question to answer that. It's dead easy, Scott, to say, we should start with the same 11, but I honestly don't know is the answer. Um, Pazzy's saying, hi, mate, hope you're well. It's cold over here, shit on the video. How you doing, Paz? Hope you're okay, mate. Yeah, it's always cold over there in February, isn't it? I suppose just the way it is. Um, but, have a good day, mate. I hope everything's good with you and the family. Give them my love. Um, this game on Saturday is a bit of a tough one, but I'm going to have a little chat about what I blogged this morning, really, which was sort of, I see people saying now, well, if we win tomorrow, we can go sixth, and if we don't, we can go eight, and all. I don't think our league position matters, and it's also people saying the season hinges on the next three games. It doesn't. Um, I I think we need out of the last 14. I think we need. 8 victories. If we win 8 games and lose 6, I think we make the playoffs. So that gives you some idea of what could happen. Now, it's very unlikely that we're going to do that. It's more likely we're going to draw some. But I think if we win 8, we make the playoffs. I'm absolutely certain of that. Well, as I said in my blog this morning, and I've said it all season, I said it before the start of the season, it's a poor championship, and it is. The reason it is so congested is because it's poor. Who's the best team in the championship? Us. I mean, look at us now. We're as good as anyone. I don't think Middlesbrough are going to be any great. I don't think Middlesbrough are going to be beating us at St Andrews. Norwich, on the back of Clemente, obviously Felipe Clemente has changed things for them, but it's still the same players. They haven't got Josh Sargent up top. So let's see what happens. Ben Colley's come in and said hello to me. How you doing, Ben? Paz, I can't see us losing any. Well, hang on, is that what you say? Any? Well, that would be, if we don't lose any games from now to the end of the season, the worst case scenario is that we get 14 points because we draw them all. We need 24. So I think 24 points gets us into the playoffs. So 14 games, 24 points, however you want to do it. But obviously the easiest way of doing it is 8 threes is 24. So if we win 8 games, we are in the playoffs, in my opinion. Just looking at the way we played the other night. Dave Peggers, come on, how you doing, Dave? How we played against Leeds. I think there's 2 things we have to consider here. One is that Leeds allowed us to play. Are we going to get that same consideration from Norwich and Middlesbrough and everyone else that we have to play? Some teams are going to, play us for the point, aren't they? Teams that want to get in the playoffs that need to win just like we do, so those should be some open games. Paul James is saying to me the Bristol City equaliser last night was some goal. Draw was a good result. I didn't see it actually, but I know they were 1 up and then 2-1 down, and I was so happy that Wrexham gave away that equaliser, of course. Ben Kelly saying, Stevie, do you see us losing against if we lose 6? Well, that's exactly it. It's the point I was trying to make this morning, Ben. I don't see us losing 6 games. And if we don't lose 6 games and we win the other 8, then we're going to be in the playoffs, because 24. I think 69 stroke 70 points will get us in there. I've seen some people say 73, 74. I don't think this division, too many teams are dropping silly points. I think 69 could sneak us in. It would be a really low points total for playoffs, but there's a lot of teams that can. I mean, there's 7 or 8 teams within 2 points. I don't know. Ben, can you see us losing many, and if so, who against? Steve Daniels, are you, Steve? You okay? Yeah, I'm all right, Steve. Thank you. Hope you are, mate. Happy Wednesday to you. Weekend's nearly here again. Where do the weeks go? Jesus, just disappears, doesn't it? If you go to Norwich on Saturday, have a great day. It's a place I don't like going to. It's like a long journey. It's a shitty ground. I just don't like going to Norwich. I've been to Norwich and Ipswich, and neither of them. It's just a journey, and it's what a pain. We had a favour done for us last night by Bristol City. Them and Norwich dropping a point are going to help us. So I don't know. I mean, Norwich can't make the playoffs. They're too far behind. They're 7 points behind us, 8 points behind us. I mean, they could if they won every game. theoretically, we've got 14 left. Let's say we won 9 and drew 4, drew 5. That will give us 32 points. Is that going to leave us? That's going to probably take us into the higher positions in the playoffs at least, isn't it? Graham Parrish is on. How you doing, Gray? Good afternoon, mate. It's nice to see you on. Thank you so much for coming on and saying hello to us. Our new website should be up and running later this week, I hope. It's more likely to be next week. We're just finishing it off, and it's hard work when you have so much stuff to do. It's going to be absolutely brilliant, and I'll tell you a little bit about it in a minute. Ben Colley's saying, I think we will be the ones we should win. Always seems away. Yeah, but who are the ones we should win? Because really, I think we should beat everyone at the moment. We need to beat Bristol City are crap. Wrexham we want to beat. Preston we should beat. Preston are on a bit of a downer at the moment. Bristol City haven't been playing well. Wrexham are easily beatable. Paz Paris, Dad. I thought he was talking to me then, Paz. Do you know someone I don't know? Graham, your son's on, and he's saying hello to you, mate. I just got this nice this this um, this coffee I'm drinking here is I forgot what it's called now. I told you before, but anyway, really nice, sort of mildish. But I've been drinking this Alpro Barista milk, almond milk with it. It's so nice. Seriously, I'm trying to get rid of the dairy. I've lost and I'm not massively overweight. I'm sort of gorgeous, but I wanted to get a bit more gorgeous and drop a few more kilos. So I've dropped 4 kilos in 6 weeks. It's pretty good going, isn't it? Down to 81.4 this morning. Come on, Steve. Bex is on. How are you, my darling? Oh, that's the arm. That's the arm. What arm is it? I lost it before. There it is, I think. Yeah, good afternoon, Bex. How are you, my love? Bex has got her hands full at the moment with some of the website stuff that we're doing. I was just touching on it, Bex, before you came on. I guess you're on your lunch break now. So we have got so much going on this website. It's a community site. It's a blues site. We've got an RSS feed from BBC Sport. I think we're having one from Sky Sports. So when when you log onto the website, you've always got this updated sports news. We've also got all the Blues results and fixtures as they happen, and the ladies. We've got Facebook running live on it. Anything we do, I think in Facebook is going to be live in the website. So basically, you can sit in the website, you can access Facebook, you can have a look at YouTube, you can look at all the latest sports news from BBC and possibly Sky. I can't wait, it's going to be brilliant. Steve Daniels is saying Norwich are flying. Yeah, but so we are as well, mate. Don't forget, we're flying as well. We're unbeaten in 11. Then Millwall away, but we've already pummeled them. I did think that was a bit of an off night for Millwall. I honestly believe this. And I actually fancy us against Borough on the Monday night, watching them against Cobb. We can win all 3 of those games. Norwich, you're right, they're having a great run, but like I said, so are we. Just looking back on our last, say, 10 games, we would be in that position. I said, we want to be in where we're winning. That we're sort of averaging 2 points a game, which is what we need to do. So I think we could do that, and we are doing it at the moment. I think with Norwich, as you said, Norwich are flying, and in a way it's quite a good thing because they're going to try and play us at football. We're very good at football, so they're not going to stick 6 or 7 men behind the ball. They're not going to play with wing backs or anything like defensive like that. They're going to come at us with a 4-2-3-1 the way that we play. So that's going to be a very open game. I think we'll beat Norwich. Middlesbrough, um, another hard game, of course, uh, but a game definitely we can win. We could have beaten them up there, couldn't we? Unfortunately for us, we got there on the Rob Davis uh, like the Rob Davis demonstration day when the world and his wife wanted them to win because Rob Davis had got off talking to the dogheads and they sacked him. So everyone in Middlesbrough wanted them to beat us, and they did, but it wasn't very pretty, was it? And they didn't do it convincingly. We should and could have got at least a point out of that. Steve Daniels is on. I think uh, it will be out of us. Derby, or this might be controversial, but I think Sheffield United will creep in. I don't know without looking, so I might as well just have a quick look where Sheffield United are. They're not. I wouldn't be fancying Sheffield United because they're very inconsistent. And you're probably going to say we are. We're not really. Just recently we are Mr. Consistent, aren't we? Sheffield United at the moment have got 42 points. They're only 4 points behind us. It's not impossible. Everyone's played 32 except for Portsmouth, who are on 31. They're not going to be anywhere near us, and Hull City on 31. That's not good for us. What we could do with an Ipswich on 30, so Ipswich have 2 games in hand, which could possibly take them, to within a point of Middlesbrough. Hull City have 1 game in hand. So Millwall and Hull are the realistic ones above Derby. So we're 2 points behind Derby, um, and we're 8 points behind Hull, but we have to play Hull. So it could open up, couldn't it? I don't know. I don't. You see, like when you say Sheffield United, and I say, okay, well they are only 4 points behind us. What you have to look at as well in that, Ben, is that from Sheffield United on 42, if we jump up to 46 points, right, which is what we have, or 45, then you got Watford, us, Southampton, Bristol City, Preston, and Wrexham all within 3 points of each other. So I think for Sheffield United to catch up and overtake all of those, it's going to be very difficult. They've got a 0 goal difference. We've got +4, Southampton +4, Watford +8, Bristol City +5, Preston +4, Wrexham +5. So it's very, very tight in the goals. Derby +8, Hull +7, Ipswich +22. What? You got to fancy them, ain't you? Middlesbrough +17. So there's 3 teams that have got a big goal difference. Everyone else really is pretty much of a muchness. So we'll see. Ben Colley, okay. Millwall, Hull, Ipswich, and Derby are the obvious, real tough away games and possible losses. Those are the games we need maybe a different set. Well, I disagree with you there, mate. I mean, there's 2 things here. Chris Davis ain't going to change the setup. He's just not. He might change the players within it. He won't change the setup. We're not going to. People have been saying all season. I mean, some people have been asking to play with wing backs. What? Fucking why would we play with wing backs? With the team we have, especially now, it's impossible for us to play with wing backs now. We haven't got any wing backs. So you can forget that. Until Laird comes back, we haven't got any wing backs. I suppose Wagner could. Would we want to? And then what we're going to do with Solly, with the 4 wingers that we have, put them on the bench. That ain't going to happen. So the only option really is to, play the Christmas tree 4-3-2-1. It's possible, but why would we want to restrict our attacking options? I don't see that changing at all. But I think the personnel will change. So away games, you may see Vicente come in. Home games, you may see Roberts play and then switch on the hour. Same with Osman and Dimmy up top. I want to see Prisco up there. I want to give him some games. Stansfield's doing really well in the 10, but he can swap with. If Stansfield's in the 10 and Dimmy's in the 11, they can swap, and they've done it before, and they're very, very good at it. But I don't think that's going to happen, Ben. And I hate it when you know that we have to change our formation to suit an opposition. There's no one I think that's going to play better football than us, to be honest. Um, just my opinion. Steve Donnelly, we have got both Derby and Hull still to come. Yeah, and that's a really good thing. And saying that about those tough games like Millwall, Hull, Ipswich, and Derby away from home, don't worry about it because they have got to beat us. They've got to come and attack us. We love it when teams want to attack us because look, particularly now with the four wingers we have, we are going to tear someone a new one soon, aren't we? You know, Vicente's been unlucky, Osman's been unlucky not to score, Priska's come close. You know, we look so much more dangerous now. And if Doyle, if Doyle plays and he's on the form he was in on Saturday, who knows? Ben Colley's saying we ain't scored for 210 minutes. Is that an issue with so many shots? Well, we haven't scored for 2 games, really, have we, Albion? And it's a well. What do you mean we haven't scored for 210 minutes? I don't get that, Ben, because we scored on Sunday, didn't we? True, we are better when teams attack us. We are, mate, because they have to open up. You start opening up against us and give our midfield the opportunity to put the foot in, particularly now we've got Solis. I mean, Solis is like a world beater, and I absolutely love him. The young Patrick Vieira of Birmingham City, John Solis. I love him, man. I absolutely love John Solis. What a great player. Dave Peggy saying we are in a position where the opposition need to change to compete against us. The thing is, Dave, what I think is they'll be thinking the way we're thinking. We're not going to change the way we play because all the teams around us have got the same points as us, haven't they? You know, so they're thinking like, well, we can win these games. We need to win these games. We need to get to 70 points or whatever their target is. So to get there, you have to beat teams. No one is going to play us, I don't think. You might get a few teams lower down the table, but no one's going to come and play us and think, we've got to adapt to Birmingham because we don't want them to beat us, because they're going to look into beat us, So to beat us, they're going to have to open up and attack us. Any team that attacks us is going to be vulnerable. And I just can't wait. Yeah, Ben, you got it wrong, mate. Yeah, listen, mate, we all do that. So when you look at the way, we don't know. We've played one game against Leeds, but we did look really good when when we've had the new players. Since we've had the new players in, we look absolutely brilliant, don't we? I mean, we are a different team. Ben Sainz forgot our equaliser. How could you forget that, mate? I mean, the shots we were having, to the conversions, yeah. But I think if you listen to what Chris Davies says, you've got to agree with him, I mean, the thing is that we're getting the shots off. I remember not that long ago, we only had bloody 4 shots on goal and only 1 was on target. Well, now, like, we've got 26 on 26 shots, 12 on target, 1 goal or something, so all right, but it's getting better, isn't it? And if you look at it, I think we're the 3rd highest team in all the divisions to hit the woodwork. And I know it doesn't mean anything, it's in the woodwork, but it does, doesn't it? Because if the goals are a bit wider, I'm trying my best. We've hit the woodwork loads of times. We've been unlucky. We've had the ball handled off the line against Leeds. We've had it, we've had some amazing goal line clearances. We've had some unbelievable misses. I mean, look, if 4 of those Kyogo 10 one-on-ones goes in, we're in the top 6 already, I just, there's a lot of things you can look at and say, all right, then we've had a lot of shots, not many have been on target. We've been awfully unlucky as well, haven't we? I really think we have. And when you look at some of the really poor displays we put in, and we're still there, early on in the season, Coventry away down to 10 men, we looked absolutely dreadful in the second half when Robinson got sent off. There's several games where we've looked absolutely awful, haven't we? But you know what? We've still only lost one game at home, and that's really, really great, isn't it? Because we still got those home games to come. Ben saying it's going to be fine margins. Those 2 points lost against Albion, but mate, absolutely. But those 2 points lost against all the teams we've drawn with, you know that's what it is. Home draws could cost us a place in the playoffs because although our home form is the thing that really is our strength, just recently we've dropped points at home that really shouldn't have been dropped. We have to be more clinical. Um, this is why I think, honestly, for me, and again, it is just me. I think that we have to look at playing Prisco up front. I don't think Ducks plays. He can on the bench, okay. I know people. Oh, he scored 6 goals, but look, he doesn't get involved in the game. I mean, against Leeds, he didn't even know he was playing at times, and we can't afford to to carry a player in the hope that he might score a goal when we've got like a kid like Prisker on the bench, or even you could just bring another, And I hate it because when he looks good, he looks really good, but he just goes missing too much. We can't afford to play with 10 men. We can't. Ben Colley is saying going to be fine, mate. Okay, I've got that one, mate. Let's have a look at how we do it almost on the half hour. Oh, we've only got 27 comments. That's good for us. Very low today. We're not going to break the internet, I don't think, or break Facebook like we did last time. Um, the fact that we have dropped quite a few home points is very disappointing, really. Games like the Ipswich game, first game of the season, when we give a penalty that wasn't really a penalty away in the 6th minute of injury time and things like that. All right, we were a little bit fortunate at Blackburn, probably, when you look back. But a season is like that. You have a lot of good things and you have a lot of bad things, and I think the way it's going at the moment, bad things are turning good, aren't they? And we are looking the part. It'll be interesting to see what the team is. I might have a little guess at it and put it in later in the week. Why don't you have a go at it, lads? And ladies, let us know what you think the team might be. I know there'll be a lot of people that want Allsop back, and like I said, I think Allsop did play exceptionally well, but I just don't think he's going to bring him back for this one. Dave Pegg saying, you're right, Steve, whilst okay, home form is good, I think that I saw that we are something like 6th in home form alone. Yeah, we probably are, but and 6th would get us into the top 6, wouldn't it, if we didn't have to play away? But it's true, when you think that we're 6th in the home league table and we've only lost once, and really that defeat against Hull, I mean, what the bloody hell was going on there, in 46, sorry, in 43, 40 odd home games, we've lost one. 40 odd league home games, we've lost once, I mean, it's a phenomenal record, isn't it? I think it's the best in the country, to be honest. I think, I'm guessing, but I think it's right. So, our home games, we have to look at collecting 3 points, and I'm pretty sure that's what Ben Davis is going to be looking at. So, out of I'm not sure how many home games we've got left. I think we've got 7, I think. So, imagine if we could win all of those, all right, 21 points. Just imagine we win our home games, which we should be able to do. We are always dominant at home, the crowd behind us, and then all we would need is a couple of draws away from home. It wouldn't matter what happened. Steve's saying 7 home games, if we win 6 and draw 1, that's good. Yeah, and like I was just saying, that's 19 points. And then, we just need another 2 points, don't we? That puts us on 65 points, that's it. Then do you think we can get a win and a draw? I do. Yeah, I definitely do think that. That's obviously, 69 points isn't the mathematical target. It's just what I think will get us into the top six. It could be 70, it could be 71, it could be 68. I just had a little look, and that's what I think because everyone is so inconsistent. But if you get one of those teams now that does a run of 5 or 6 games on the trot, hopefully it's going to be us. Then you're looking at someone who's suddenly got 15 points on the table, and then it changes the dynamics completely. If there were two spaces up for grabs in the top six, then yeah, but there's one realistically. So we have to focus. Now's the time when Chris Davies has to now listen. Give it them straight down the line. We need to win these games at home. Concentrate on the home form. Anything we get away from home is a bonus. What we have to do is don't open ourselves up too much away, which is why I think away from home. Ben was talking earlier about us changing formation. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think we could play with a more solid team away from home than at home. So Steve Downey saying every single home game, fans, it has to be like a cup final. This is happening, Steve. Yeah. Well, I don't know about facts, Steve, but an opinion. Yeah, it is. I agree with you totally, and I think. When I'm talking about us playing a more defensive lineup away from home. So, for instance, you could play. Let's just say the two centre halves stay with Panzo and Clara. Then with Wagner at left back and at right back going with Asai Samuel. The two DMs, let's say Pake's fit. The defensive one, the one away from home would be Pake and Solis. Or it could be Iwata and Solis, and then at home put Doyle in there, and then across the front when we're away, Vicente, because he holds the ball. It's different to Roberts, He'll take the ball wide. He'll draw the fullbacks. He'll draw the defenders out to him. Will give us more space, and on the left go with Osman because he can, just his pace. If you've got a team pushing onto you, the ball over the top, Osman destroys them. And then Stansfield and Priska. I would go Priska for the rest of the season, just an opinion. And then at home, different then. If we get Laird at right back, Wagner at left back. If we don't, Iwata at right back, Doyle and Solis. And then home, Roberts on the right, Dimmy on the left. And then, the same, Stansfield and Priska. Just what I'm saying. Steve Down, sorry mate, everything you're saying, I'm saying. Yeah, well it's all right, mate. It's good. It's great. It's great that we agree. Yeah. No, it's just when you say fact, a fact is something that is definitely happening or has happened, and it obviously is, and it's our opinion, and I think our opinion, Steve, definitely matches, and I think that's when you got two football brains like ours, mate, what can possibly go wrong? Just don't get beat on Saturday Blues. But I do fancy us on Saturday because Norwich are a little bit cock-a-hoop at the moment, aren't they? To use a footballing journalistic phrase. They're a bit cock-a-hoop at the moment. Felipe Clemente likes to play football, and he's a very clever manager, but so is Chris Davies, and Chris Davies' speciality is analysing opposition. So let's see what we come up with. Steve saying, just looking at the league, I do like Southampton. Yeah, mate, they're there. They're looking good as well, aren't they? They could be a threat. They've won, drawn, 1-1-1. So they've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 points out of 5 games. It's better than us. 13 points out of 5 games, 2 points a game is 10. If you're a team now in our position, if you get average 2 points a game, that's going to get you into the top 6. So, but Southampton are doing that at the moment, and so are we. it's exciting, but you don't want to be the ones that miss out, do you? Because imagine going into the last game of the season at Portsmouth and we haven't got anything to play for. It's going to be like, ah. But I would be excited. I think this season is a little bit different as well because it's been a funny season because we only really made half the purchases we needed and we only could because of the financial situation. So half of the required purchases in the summer and a much better January window, I think, than the summer one. Um, and then, add to that, we are on a 5 year plan, aren't we? So we're actually into year three. So really, the Gardner Wagner plan is a 5 year plan. So we have two more seasons really to keep the plan on course and get into the Premier League. So there's that, and then um, the other thing is, that, and this probably doesn't make any sense to you, but it does to me. When the season ends this season, and we're thinking, and we haven't gone up, and we haven't made the playoffs, and we're all disappointed, and we finished eighth or something. I mean, number one, it will be our best season for years and years and years. But number two, the World Cup is a few weeks away. So then you just watch the World Cup, and England win it, and then we're just waiting for the new season to kick off when we're going to storm the Championship. That's the way I see it. I might be wrong. Well, I hope I'm wrong because I want us to get into playoffs this season. If we make the playoffs, I'm not going to be complaining to anyone about not winning it or something. Although if we get into that knockout stage, I will be complaining about it. Of course I will. If we get into knockouts, we want to go and win the playoffs at Wembley. I mean, remember that day in Cardiff? Imagine that happening for us this season. It's going to make Tom feel a bit better, isn't it? It's going to make us feel a bit better. It's going to make them up the road shit themselves because they know we're coming for them. I'm getting all excited here. It's not good. It's Wednesday afternoon. What's going on? Come and talk to me a little bit more. We've only got 33 comments on the board. What is going on? Paul saying is there any update on how Tommy's doing? Well, as far as last I heard, he was stable, he'd improved, and like I said, I think on Monday, he's comparatively young man. He's like mid-50s. He's got a load of dough, so he's going to have very, very good medical. He's going to have the best medical attention you can get, isn't he? And let's just keep our fingers crossed and everything's okay. But don't forget, like, the club isn't just Tom, and don't get me wrong, Tom Wagner, I love him, he's absolutely brilliant. But, we have got Tom Healy as well, we've got Tom Brady, we've got other directors within Knighthead, so, he is like the figurehead, but, there are, like, Tom Healy comes with him a lot of the time. Tom Brady's been here. So, we have got a lot more going on other than Tom Wagner. And when Tom Wagner's ready, he's going to be back and he's going to be with us. And let's just hope he recovers really quickly because we all love him, don't we? If you're watching, Tom, come on, son, we love you. Come on. Get it sorted, mate. Steve Daniels' question about Beadle Allsop debate. I know this winds you up. It doesn't wind me up. It annoys me sometimes. But do you think Allsop was a real threat on Sunday? Distribution of the wingers was fantastic, but then on the flip side, maybe Blue Sea Beadle is one for our future. I mean, let's have a little at what else we say, and we'll put a permanent bid in for him in the future. Well, there's two things here. If you look at the stats for Beadle and Allsop, like the better goalkeeper, if you use stats, is Beadle. He makes more saves, he makes more clearances, but you can't argue with how good Allsop was on Sunday, and I'm not. His distribution was brilliant. I think he's probably like the best goalkeeper off the ground, if you want, distribution wise outside the Premier League. I think it'd be hard to argue that. Beadle hasn't got the... Beadle's not a sweeper keeper, where Allsop is. But Beadle is much better on his line, there's no doubt about that. I mean, he pulls off some absolutely outstanding saves, and he is one for the future. Um, and but I don't know, is it that important now, the way football is, and particularly the way we play? And I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself here, but I hate people slating Beadle for no reason other than they just want Allsop in goal. But do we have any reason to have a goalkeeper that is better on his line than he is at distribution when we have a team that is full of wingers now and attacking minded players? Because it's just another route and it gets us up the pitch quicker if he can pick them out, and he can pick them out. So it's really difficult for me to sort of. And I said this on Monday in our podcast. I would keep Allsop in goal at the moment. I personally would, for no other reason. His distribution is better. There's nothing wrong with Beadle as a goalkeeper. He's a young lad and he's done really, really well for us. But we have two goalkeepers for a reason. Dan Garvey's saying, "Are you Steve? Might make Tom feel worse. We'll have to spend mightily on recruitment." Yeah, well, going up, not if we go up, it wouldn't. I don't think it would make him feel worse because we have, such so much money to come off. Number one, obviously, the money for going into Premier League. Then all of the additional stuff that we are so good at generating. Look at the Penguin kit. I mean, it's an absolute brilliant piece of marketing, wasn't it? Look at the trainers. Look at all the things we do to raise money. It'd be dead interesting to see, how our income compares with the parachute payment teams. It's not going to be far off. So I think there's quite, I think Tom, if we go up, he's going to be dead happy. If he doesn't, we're not going to need major recruitment. But, we've got another third of the season to go. So I think, we can't draw any conclusion from anything yet. So we've got to wait and see about that. Steve Dunn is saying, Allsop compares to Edison of Man City. You feel so comfortable when he's got the ball. Yeah, but it's like I said, Steve. He isn't such a good shot stopper, so I don't know. I don't think he. By the way, he had any chance of stopping the one on Sunday. I think Clara made a bit of a mistake there, to be honest. Although he had a great game. I mean, the speed and power that ball was hit with, I think Allsop had a chance, but I just don't know. Steve Dunn is saying Beadle is better off. He's better at shot stopping. For me, he is, Steve. He definitely is. Dave Pegg, just a thought. I would play Iwata and Roberts combination, as Iwata likes to go outside and Roberts inside. If we played Vicente, I'll go with Bright, as Vicente goes outside and Bright appears to be better going inside. Bright goes in and out, probably makes, it does make sense because it's more or less what I just said, wasn't it? That I think if we play away from home, Vicente and Bright side Samuel on the right, and if we're at home, then you're more attacking fullback, because Bright side Samuel, although they say he goes outside, he doesn't really attack that much. He's no Ethan Laird, put it that way. And when you've got Wagner coming down the left, you don't need two attacking fullbacks, really. I mean, the way we play in possession, we play with three centre halves. So usually now it would be Samuel dropping into the three with probably Clara and Panzer on the left, Iwata on the right and Clara in the middle in possession. As soon as we lose possession, the attacking fullback drops back. But if, say, we caught with the ball over the top and the fullback can't get back, then one of your DMs drops into that back four. So Solis or Paik or whoever it might be will drop into the back four. Or Roberts covers when the fullback goes forward, and Paddy Roberts drops into the back four. It's usually only for a minute or two until we can reshape, you know. So it's an interesting one, Dave. I do agree with you, and I don't quite know how that's going to work. And of course, this is just us talking, not Chris Davis. And if we could have a little look into Chris's head, it would be interesting, wouldn't it? I'd love to do that for 10 minutes. I don't know, like if you could see the whole of the Epstein files, or have 15 minutes in Chris Davis's head before the kick-off, what would you go with? 39 comment. We've got loads of comments left, and we've only got 15. Well, we haven't only got 15 minutes. We've got as long as you want, really. As long as this goes on, we'll keep talking. As long as you want to speak to me, keep coming back and talk, and I'll keep rabbiting because I'm good at talking, aren't I? You know, you can't say I ain't got a big gob. I have. I'm good at rabbiting at times. Yeah. So the Norwich game, I don't know. You're gonna have a few bob on it, Paz. Paz gonna have a few bob on. Paz loves a little bet, don't you, son? I love seeing Paz's betting slips because, like, I'm not a gambler myself. I'd be too sort of scared, you know. I think. But Paz, you know, like he puts his betting slips in the group sometimes, and I tell you what, he probably doesn't put the ones in that he loses, do you, Paz? But nearly everything he puts in there, he wins like a couple of £100. I'm thinking of giving my job up and investing in Paz and getting, you know, give him some dough and get him to get me some as well. I'd love to have a go at that, but I know it would happen. The minute I got involved, it would all go tits up. Yeah, and of course the ladies are in a bit of a sticky situation at the moment. And by the way, on the new website, Beck's going to have her own little section for ladies, so she can sit there and give it all that about the ladies. It's brilliant having Kaz Carney investing in the team, isn't it? We had some muppet yesterday saying, "So what is she going to invest the same as the men?" What the? I mean, person must think that every investor has to invest the same amount of money in a team. That's what this person must think. I did ask the question, is that what you think? I didn't really see what his answer was if he had one, but you know, I mean, of course it isn't. Tom Brady's got like 1% or something, and nearly all of the investors. I think Beck will tell us all of the investors in the women's team are women as well. I think that the owning company has a 96% ownership of the ladies, and the other 4% is shared between investors. So that'll give you some idea of what Karen Brady and the others, Kaz Carney and the others have put in, and it's pretty much the same with with the men's team as well. Dave Peggy saying, did Angus win his bet? I don't know. I can't remember now. I think he had 16 to 1 for Roberts to score. Mate, if he did, I'll be heartbroken for him because it was no goal. So Roberts didn't score. So that would be a shame, wouldn't it? I think he did. I remember now. I think he said he'd had a bet at 16 to 1 for Roberts. It was a really well struck shot, but we were a little bit fortunate. Defender puts his head on it and it loops it away from the keeper, but no one can complain that we didn't deserve that. And right at the end there, you know, when we've got Osman hitting the far post, and then, you know, I don't want to, I'm not going to have a knock at Kanya because the ball came back to Kanya Fujimoto like about 8 yards out. But there were a lot of players in front of him, but he should have gone to his right instead of going to his left. But you know what I mean? So, you know, he hasn't played much football, has he? And it was nice for him to come on. And I think what happened was, I think Ben Davies really did, although it was such an important game in a way, it would have been great to win it. The more important thing is promotion. And I think Chris Davies did want to give players time, like Bateka, like Kanya. You know, he wanted to give them a run out because they deserved to have a little run out, and it's not an important game like it is, but it isn't, you know, in comparison. Darren Humphreys, hi Steve, it's a clever bit of business the club have done with the women's team. Great that Kaskani is an investor as well as the tennis player Clijsters. Yeah, it is, mate. And the more women we can get involved with that, the better. It doesn't have to be women, of course not, but it's good for us to show that we're not misogynistic at Birmingham City, and we it's like with any sort of discriminatory stuff. And I put a little post on yesterday about a couple of women that had stolen some money off an old lady at Convis Place, MC Bargains in Acots Green, and they got like footage of them off his CCTV taking money out of this old lady's purse. There was quite a lot of money there, and fair play to Convy. I think they've had a bit of a get together and they've given this lady her money back. But we got photos of these people, so I put it in the group. I said, please let's put a name on these people and find out who they are. And unfortunately, I mean, I didn't see. What you have to remember for us as moderators, you can put a post on now. We might not see it for 2 hours. It just depends who's around and what we're doing. But we didn't see it for a while, and there were some like racist comments on there, and really, that's not our game. We don't do that. So you can say what you want about these women. You could say they're thieving gits, they're this, they're that. We say all are, but don't put it down to where they come from, because listen, every country has thieving gits, and every country has some really nice people. So it's got nothing to do with where they're from. But what it's got to do with them, that they're shite heads, aren't they? And they're stealing off an old woman. Just outrageous. But Convey, son, fair play to you, getting them their money back, and or giving that lady and looking after her, mate. You're a hero, son. Thank you. Graham Parrish is saying, shame the attendance at Blues women's games are so low. Yeah, I think if we get promoted, Graham, I think it will be a different kettle of fish. We if we get promoted, because we're messing up a bit at the moment, and the usual thing happens straight away. Amy Merricks is under pressure from the supporters. She's this, she's that. They've lost 2 games on the trot. Crystal Palace were in the WSL last season, I believe, season before, relegated. So they are a strong team, and you could tell, you can tell they're an ex-WSL team. They're a good team, and they beat us. Week before we lost to Durham, so we've lost 2 games on the trot, but we're still in the strongest position. We're still, I think, a point ahead of Bristol City with a game in hand. So this is still well within our reach. So we need to just batten down the hatches now, get the season done, get the ladies into the WSL, then we worry about the men, but yeah. Well, and Dungarvy's saying lost 1, drawn 1, not lost 2. Oh yeah, they did. They drew against Doris Wright, mate. Yeah, it was 0-0, wasn't it? But it was almost like a defeat, wasn't it? Really, because at the moment we're so close and yet so far away. Which is, it's just one of them things. But you're right, mate. We didn't lose 2, we lost 1. My apologies for that. Got it wrong. Wednesday, Friday, we're going to be doing a Norwich City preview. So we're going to properly look at that game, not just like brush past it like we have today. And we'll be having a look at, it's great to see as well that we have Buchanan back on grass playing. We have Ethan Laird back on the grass. So these two are getting closer. Robinson, I think, is a little bit behind them. But it's brilliant to be getting these players back at this time of the season, isn't it? And I know, like, you're probably thinking, well, Wagner, well, yeah, but what happens if Wagner gets an injury? Cochrane isn't back yet. I don't personally think Buchanan will probably play this season. He had a horrific injury. It may be next season for him, but Cochrane not a million miles away. Right back, Ethan Laird. Can't wait for Laird to get back. I mean, fancy losing a player like Ethan Laird for so long. I mean, he's just a brilliant fullback, isn't he? So we get Ethan Laird back and look at that right back position. Then we're so strong in there. What's going to happen to Iwata? When we've got Laird and Asai Samuel, two proper right backs. Really, Watta's job is done, but he's been really good, hasn't he? You know, what happens then, and then what do we do in the middle of the park? We've got, you know, at the base of defence then, realistically, Paik, Iwata, Doyle, Solis, which two get the place? Solis has to get one for me. I mean, you know, he's our young, you know, our young leggy, you know, defensive mid who's going to play for Blues for years, I hope. And don't forget, we've got this promise to buy. If he plays 11 games for us, we buy him. You know, his deal's done. And of course, you know, the likeness to Patrick Vieira has been touched upon already. Daniel Garvey sounds very tough 8 days coming. We'll need all the legs we can muster. You're talking about the ladies there, Dan, aren't you? So yeah, I think you're talking about the ladies. Yeah, and like the men, the squad looks strong. It looks deep. You know, we've got two in every position. Just up front now, we're spoiled, aren't we? When you look at the wingers a season ago, or even at the wingers we started the season with, you know, all right, we had Dimmy and we had Keshi, and then on the other side, you know, we had Patrick Roberts, who was a last day addition, and on the right, who did we have on the right side with Patrick Roberts? Can't remember, but you're going to tell me, aren't you, in a minute? John Farmer saying, I'm hoping the women's team will eventually draw in bigger crowds. I think they will, mate, when we go up and be a force in the game. It all helps. It does, absolutely, it does. You know, we want both of them in the top division, and they will both be there. Steve McGuire saying, "Oh, yes, Steve, have you altered the volume? It was really loud the other day. Hardly." Yeah, sorry, mate. I have. I turned it down a bit because people say it was booming a little bit. So I can't actually change it now, but I will. I'll put it up for the next one. I'm sorry about that. So I'm going to speak a little bit louder now, Steve. I'm sorry. I've got this new mic with a diaphragm. I don't know if I can show it you probably. There it is, look. So, you know, I'm getting used to it, and I did change the position of it yesterday. I can bring it a little bit closer, and I'll talk more directly into it. I'll talk a bit louder, but I will turn the volume up. I turned it down because people were saying it was booming a little bit, so it's just getting over this little bit of a hiccup with it, mate. I'm sorry. We'll put it right. Or have you got your hearing aid turned up, son? Make sure that it's not that, won't you? Dave Garvey, no, Norwich, Millwall, and Borough. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. Yeah, of course, big, you know, three big games. Every game now is a big game for us. We have to start winning games. No more drawing games at home. We need points. Richard Lawton is saying, Dave, was Laird's a hamstring injury? Laird's was I think Laird's was a calf, actually. So, you know, you have to be dead careful with calves, especially with explosive players. So, you know, he's not going to be rushed back. But from what I understand, he's on the verge of returning. So that's really good. You know, we hope so. It's a calf, Dave, I think. Daniel going Millwall, it's midweek away. Yeah, and I mean, you know, it's not the best place to go in the middle of the week, is it, Bermondsey? You could think of better places to be. But it's a lot safer than the... I mean, I used to love going to the Old Den. I've been there loads of time. Every time I get to the Old Den, I would go. I loved going there. It was a scary place to go, but it was a proper football ground, and we always travelled well there. The new ground, not so good. You know, I've been there a couple of times, and it's just, particularly if you go by coach, the coaches just literally drive you right into the entrance, and you get off and go in. So, you know, it's taken that element of fear away from going to Millwall. You know, I mean, I've had some fun on London Bridge over the years. Darren Humphrey saying it would be good if we could turn Lee Buchanan into a left-sided central defender. I think he's played there before. He has. He's got the speed, the height, and he's great technically on the ball. He is. The thing is, I don't think that would happen because he is primarily a left-back. He does play you know, when he's played left back, it's like Cochrane and it's like um, Wagner. Uh, when the right fullback goes forward, the left fullback becomes the left-sided centre half. So they all have to be able to do that. But I don't see the point in doing that when we have a left-sided centre half in Panzo. So you know, I think we'll be stronger to have a proper left-sided centre half uh, rather than a full-back stroke centre half. And would you see, you know, how would you see it with, say, Wagner at left back and Buchanan at left-sided centre half? I just don't see that happening. It's a little bit lightweight, but it's a good point you make because he is, you know, he can play that position. But as I said, so can the others. Um, they have to, you know, they have to be able to play it because that's the setup we have. You know, our 4-3, our 4-2-3-1 is based on defending, not attacking. When we attack, you know the actual system changes to three at the back, and then the extra man, the extra right-sided fullback going into the midfield. So you know it becomes a 4-2. It becomes a 3-2-4, 3-2-4-1, and it's a very attacking system, obviously, but it's only when you have the ball. Yeah, I think Dave Pegg. I think I'm right in saying that injury to Ethan Laird was a calf, and as you probably know yourself, Dave, I think you did sports science, didn't you? Those sort of, you know, I've done it and I've done anatomy as well. So those explosive players like Laird, like Dimmy, like Vicente, like Osman, you know, ones that go from a standing start into full blown, you know, 100 miles an hour. That's when calves go. That's why it's so important for them to have that proper warm up before a game and a warm down as well, because those muscles need to be put back into their natural position after a game, as well as being warmed up prior to, you know, asking them suddenly to bang into action. Um, all right, and we've hit the hour. We haven't hit the 100 comments, but I think, you know, if you're done, then we're done. If you want to say anything else now, say it and we'll carry on talking. I'm not going to sit here and just talk you to death, although I probably could if I really had to. Um, yeah, a really fabulous weekend for us last weekend. Great. This week's been really good because everyone has been believing in us instead of, like, you know, we've had so much negativity from some of our supporters over the weeks, and I think now's the time for us to get behind it. And you know, whatever happens at Norwich on Saturday, we're not out of it if we lose at Norwich. Just remember that we don't want to go in there with that attitude. Of course not. But my belief is we get something out of Norwich, but I don't know. You know, I haven't hit the 100 because Lee isn't on it. Yeah, probably. Yeah, Lee does tend to talk quite a lot. Um, yeah, so you know, don't go sort of turning on everyone if we lose a game, because we're going to lose another game. I think we probably will. This team isn't unbeatable, but we should win more than we lose, definitely, and win and draw, and hopefully only lose one or two more games this season, and then we're going to be in a really strong position to get into those playoffs. And we just have to keep believing, really do. Charlie Perry said he's just joined, so not sure if this has been discussed. Who takes the keeper's shirt? Yeah, it has been discussed, and I think I'm 90% sure it's going to be James Beadle. But I do understand, you know, why we would also consider playing Allsop, because we said earlier, Charlie, you know, he's probably the best sweeper keeper outside the Premier League, but he's not as good a shot stopper. So, and the other thing that we have to think about there is that Chris Davies dropped Beadle to give Allsop a game. He didn't drop him because he played badly. He dropped him to give him a game. So there's those two things to think about. And I think the same thing you have to think about there is with the centre halves. Did, you know, is Panzo going to stay in the left-sided centre half position because he did play so really. He looked so good, didn't he, against Leeds? But he only played because they wanted to give Neumann a rest. But I could understand Panzo playing more than Allsop. Hang on a minute, because he's a different player to Neumann. He's naturally left-sided. He's more of a footballer than Neumann is. He looks very cool-headed. He's got great crazy hair as well, isn't it? Which is always a good point. Where with Allsop and Beadle, it's more an even thing, and they're both goalkeepers. They're just different kinds of goalkeeper. But it's an interesting debate, and I'm sure it's one that's going to go on. I don't. And someone said to me earlier, that I get touchy about it. I don't get touchy about anyone having an opinion on Allsop being better than Beadle. But I don't like it when people say Beadle shit, Beadle can't do this, Beadle can't do that, when it's obviously just because they want Ryan Allsop in the team. I mean, are people stupid? You think like, okay, put Ryan Allsop in the team. Don't destroy your second team goalkeeper or your second string goalkeeper because you want, someone else in the goal. Because when it's his turn to come in, then then everyone just complains about him, and the goalkeeper's nervous, and he feels like like shit. So that's what does my head in when people have a go at Beadle for no reason. And people go, Beadle, blah, blah, blah. Fact. And it's not fact, it's opinion. You can't say he's a better goalkeeper. Fact. You can't say that. You can say that's your opinion. You can't say it's a fact. A fact is that, white is white and black is black. You know what I mean? It's not an opinion, that isn't it? That's a fact. Anyway, I've been talking enough, I think. You got to try and get on a bit earlier next time, Charlie. When you're coming over to Spain again, son, I remember you being over here with your beautiful wife last summer, and we're coming out a drink with you, didn't we, for a couple of hours? So, interesting one to come on Saturday and the next two, Millwall and Borough, two very big games for us. Imagine if we come out of that with 9 points down, we're starting to look like, whoa, this is the team that's on form. But let's just keep our fingers crossed, and just, if we come away from Carrow Road with a point, I honestly think that would be a good result for us. But it doesn't really do anything for us. So, it does. It gives us a point towards our total, towards the 69. But I think if you look at it, we need 3 points at Norwich, don't we? We need 3 points in every game. So if we play a game now, we don't get 3 points, we've got to be a bit disappointed. But we then have to look at the next one and put that one behind us, just like the Albion game, which was a very bitter pill to swallow, wasn't it? Because Albion are rubbish, I mean, they did have a good game plan, they did have a go at us, but they came with a low block, and they came to get a point. That just disappoints you, doesn't it, really? But tells you everything about Albion at the moment. Oh, and the other talking point, of course, is Gary Rowett going to Leicester, isn't it? So you can see what Leicester are doing. Leicester are now panicking that they might go down. So Gary Rowett is a safe pair of hands in terms of making your defence better. But he didn't keep us up, did he? That's my point. And people are going, I love Gary Rowett, he's a great manager. Well, he is. We didn't keep us up. And he's not, you don't want to watch a Gary Rowett team playing every week. I mean, it's boring. They're not, they're not he doesn't set up in an exciting way. And he's a defender by trade, so you'd expect it to be like that. And to be fair, like I said yesterday in the group, Gary Rowett, I love him because what a great right back he was for us, wasn't he? Absolutely loved him, playing brilliant. He's a nicest bloke as well, isn't he? He's cool, wears a V-neck jumper and all that, and he looks cool, doesn't he, Gary Rowett? So, right, it's been nice, 1 hour and 10 minutes talking to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. I'll be back on Friday. I'm not sure what time. I've got a late finish on Friday again, so it might be around this time too. We will see. Keep your fingers crossed. If you want to have a go at selecting a team, please do so. It's really interesting to see your team selections. So come on, have a go at it. Let's have a bit of a laugh, and we can have a chat about the teams that you selected on Friday. So thank you very much for spending the time with me. And oh, get the wrong arm. Look, let's just get the badge out as well. Whoa, look at that badge, baby. Have a great week, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Up the Blues.